Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Lachlan Brown here, and we're going to be talking about the gather round fixtures. On Thursday night, we're going with the Adelaide Crows versus Geelong at Adelaide Oval. This will be a big test for the Crows to see what they can do with new recruits Isaac Cumming, Alex Neil-Bullen, and James Peatling on the team, and potentially Sid Draper. Versus the Cats. We've just added Bailey Smith to the team, and they have just also added Jack Martin. Well, Geelong, they've picked a tattoo guy to be their new captain. Well, it's not Paddy Dangerfield on the screen. It's my good mate Dre Bennett. As I just picked him to be the new captain of the Cats. Anyways, now we're on the Friday night. Collingwood and Sydney at Adelaide Oval. Collingwood, they'll be looking to prove themselves and win another game in South Australia. With the addition of ex-Port Adelaide player Dan Houston and ex-GWS Giants Harry Perryman. The Swans, the only changes they made was the loss of Luke Parker to North Melbourne. It was one of their most notable changes. And now we move on to Saturday afternoon. We get up to Guernseys real quick. We got a day game in the Barossa Valley between North Melbourne and the Gold Coast Suns. Well, there is no Barossa Valley Oval on April 23, so I had to flash up Adelaide Hills for this one. Even though I've never been to a gather round game in Adelaide Hills in my entire life. The Kangaroos, they got new additions in Caleb Daniel, Luke Parker, and Jack Darling into the roster. Gold Coast, well, they've added Daniel Rioli, John Noble, Elliot Himmelberg, and possibly Leo Lombard from the academy. Also on Saturday, we cross back to Adelaide Oval to see Matt Ollies versus his old club for the first time. This will be the second year in a row that a gather round matchup would feature third year in a row would feature a gather round matchup having someone versus their old club for the first time. Anyways, back to the video. Sorry for the interruption. Saturday Twilight. We'll be going to Nord Oval for this one. With the Western Bulldogs versus the Brisbane Lions. The Lions, this is their first season as reigning premier since 2004. The Western Bulldogs, they'll be looking to prove themselves how they could do without Caleb Daniel, Jack McRae, or Bailey Smith, who have all left for bigger and better places. The Lions are not added much in the trade period, except they're going to be adding Levi Ashcroft and Sam Marshall through the draft, and potentially Sam Day as a delisted free agent, following the retirement of Joe Danaher. Anyways, back to the old club theme before I was interrupted. 2023 gave around, we had Sam Wiedemann versus old club when he moved from Melbourne to Essendon. 2024, we had Jack Jenovan change clubs from Collingwood to Hawthorn, and they versed each other. Now it's Matt Owies' turn. On Saturday night, we are crossing back to Adelaide Oval for this one. The Bombers versus Melbourne. They versed each other in gather around at Adelaide Oval before in 2023, and now set to verse each other again at Adelaide Oval this year. The Bombers will be getting excited about the Isaac Keiko edition. Melbourne, they're going to be adding some youth into their lineup, as the older guys are now retired. Anyways, now we move on to Sunday. Now we move on to Sunday football. Fremantle versus Richmond. Shea Bolton versus his old club for the first time. That will be the second player to verse their old club on Gather Round. After another player in Matt Owies. Later on Saturday Arvo. We return to Nord Oval for this one. For the Saints versus GWS. GWS, they've lost a few but added Stringer. Saints, they've lost a few but added McRae. Two former Western Bulldogs teammates go head-to-head. And now, we move on to the last game of Gather Round. We are back at Adelaide Oval. Hang on. It's a mistake here. Anyways, what all we were about to say was, before I accidentally clicked on Start Match, we got Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval. 7:20 kickoff. Port, they have just added Jack Lukosius and Joe Richards into their roster. Hawthorn have added two defenders, Tom Barras and Josh Battle. This is going to add some spice. Jack Jenovan is out for revenge against Ken Hinckley. After Ken Hinckley said something after the game about Jack Jenovan and James Cecily. So Hawthorn are out for revenge after 2 close losses last year against the Power. Could this be Hawthorn's turn this time? And that reveals the Gather Round fixture for 2025.